Imagine living under the spotlight, adored by millions, yet silently fighting a battle inside your own body. Pause. This is the story of Mary Tyler Moore, the beloved actress, the smiling face on screen, and behind it all, a warrior living with type 1 diabetes. In her 30s, at the height of her career, Mary received life-changing news. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a condition that doesn't just affect your health, but every part of your daily life. For Mary, it meant constant monitoring, injections, and living with uncertainty. But Mary didn't let this diagnosis define her. She faced moments of struggle, frustration, and fear. Yes, but she chose courage over despair. She understood that while she couldn't change her condition, she could change how she lived with it. Instead of hiding, Mary became a voice. She stepped forward and spoke openly about diabetes at a time when many kept it silent. She raised awareness, gave strength to patients worldwide, and dedicated herself to finding a cure through her work with the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Her turning point wasn't just surviving with diabetes. It was transforming her pain into purpose. She showed the world that even in struggle, you can shine. That a diagnosis is not the end, but the beginning of a new mission. Mary Tyler Moore proved that strength is not about living without challenges. It's about rising despite them. Her story reminds every diabetes warrior out there, you are not alone, your voice matters, and your life can inspire countless others. Mary Tyler Moore's legacy lives on. Keep fighting, keep shining, keep believing. To everyone living with diabetes, like Mary, you are stronger than you think, and your story can change the world. A dazzling smile, a bright spirit. Mary Tyler Moore wasn't just an actress. She was a fighter. This is her story. Dramatic music rises. Mary Tyler Moore was already a rising star when life took an unexpected turn. At the age of 33, during the height of her fame, doctors told her the words that changed everything. You have type 1 diabetes. Pause. For a moment, her world stood still. Needles, blood tests, insulin shots, they became part of her daily routine. But Mary didn't let it break her spirit. Inspiring music softly plays. She learned, step by step, how to live, how to fight, and how to shine, even through the darkness. Behind the laughter of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, few knew her real struggle. There were days she felt weak, dizzy, uncertain, but she never gave up. She continued acting, producing, and breaking barriers for women in television. Pause. Mary showed that illness doesn't define your dreams. Courage does. Soft piano returns. One day, she realized her story could help others. So, she decided to speak up, not as a celebrity, but as a fellow diabetic. Mary became a voice for millions. She joined the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, using her fame to raise awareness and funds for research. Her speeches, her honesty, her strength, they gave hope to families, children, and adults facing the same fight. Inspiring music rises. Mary Tyler Moore proved that diabetes may be lifelong, but so is determination. She lived her life with purpose, humor, and grace. Pause. Her message still echoes today. Take care of yourself. Believe in yourself. You can live fully, no matter what challenges come your way. Soft orchestral music swells. Mary Tyler Moore didn't just change television. She changed lives. Her story reminds us that even in the face of struggle, we can still smile, still dream, and still inspire others. Pause. Because true strength shines from within. Music fades out slowly. Mary Tyler Moore. Soft instrumental music, visuals of a young Mary laughing on set. It was 1969. Mary was at the peak of her career, charming audiences with her grace, humor, and elegance. But something didn't feel right. She was always thirsty, tired, and losing weight fast. Pause. After a series of tests, the doctor gave her the news, type 1 diabetes. Music softens. Back then, diabetes wasn't talked about much. There were no CGMs, no digital tools, just syringes, finger pricks, and strict routines. But Mary, she didn't let that stop her. Melancholic piano music. Every morning, before the cameras rolled, she checked her blood sugar. Every meal, she calculated her insulin. And every night, she hoped to wake up healthy enough to do it all again. Pause. There were moments of frustration, times she wanted to give up, but she never showed it on screen. To the world, she was radiant. To herself, she was resilient. Music shifts, low, tense strings. Years later, Mary faced new challenges, vision problems, nerve pain, and complications that tested her strength again. But instead of hiding, she spoke up. Dramatic pause. She used her fame not for sympathy, but for change. Mary became a voice for millions living with diabetes, leading the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, raising awareness and funding research for a cure. Inspiring music rises. She once said, "Diabetes taught me discipline and strength. It made me who I am." Gentle orchestral music, montage of Mary's TV moments and charity events. Mary Tyler Moore didn't just place strong women on television. She was one. Her courage inspired countless others to face their diagnosis with hope, not fear. Pause. Even after her passing, her legacy lives on, in every person who refuses to let diabetes define them. Music swells, warm and emotional. Mary's story reminds us that true beauty isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance. No matter how tough life gets, remember, you have the power to smile. But Mary carried it all, quietly, bravely, with elegance. Music deepens, steady rhythm. Years passed. The effects of diabetes began to take a toll, vision problems, nerve damage, surgeries. But instead of stepping away from the world, Mary stepped forward. She became one of the loudest voices in diabetes awareness. She spoke publicly, raising millions for research through the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Inspiring music swells. She turned her pain into purpose. She once said, "Diabetes taught me discipline. It made me who I am." Her story became more than fame. It became hope. Gentle orchestral background, clips of Mary with fans, and at charity events. Mary Tyler Moore wasn't just a star on television. She was a beacon of strength in real life. She proved that diabetes can't stop dreams, can't erase determination, and can't silence a heart full of courage. Pause. Even after her passing, her light still shines through every person who faces diabetes and chooses to live boldly. Uplifting music builds to a powerful finish. Mary's story reminds us that our challenges don't define us. Our courage does. So to everyone living with diabetes, keep believing, keep fighting, keep shining. Because like Mary Tyler Moore showed the world, blue heart diabetes doesn't control your life. You do. Music fades out, screen fades to black. Soft piano music plays, old TV clips of Mary Tyler Moore smiling and waving. She made the world laugh. She made millions believe that women could shine on their own. But behind the laughter, behind that bright smile, Mary Tyler Moore was fighting a silent, lifelong battle. Pause. A battle with type 1 diabetes. Dramatic music builds. This is not just the story of an actress. It's the story of a warrior who turned her pain into purpose. Slow, nostalgic background music. It was 1969. Mary was on top of the world, starring in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, winning hearts, and changing television forever. But when she began feeling constantly tired and thirsty, she knew something was wrong. Pause. Doctors told her the truth. Type 1 diabetes. It was a shock. Back then, diabetes care was difficult. No fancy devices, no digital meters, just strict diets, endless injections, and uncertainty. But Mary didn't let it stop her. Inspiring music rises. She faced it head-on, balancing her career, her health, and her dreams. Soft, emotional piano music. Every day on set, she battled tiredness, hunger, and fluctuating blood sugar levels. But when the cameras rolled, she smiled. She didn't want the world to see her weakness. Behind that confidence was courage. Behind that smile was strength. Pause. Mary once said, "Diabetes taught me discipline. It made me stronger." And that strength became her greatest performance. Music shifts, deeper, emotional tones. As years passed, diabetes began to affect her eyesight and nerves. But instead of giving up, Mary decided to fight back. She became one of the loudest voices for diabetes awareness, partnering with the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. She raised millions for research, gave speeches, and shared her story to give others hope. Inspiring music swells. Mary turned her pain into power. Her voice changed lives. Uplifting orchestral music begins. Mary Tyler Moore wasn't just an actress. She was an inspiration. She showed the world that you can live fully, even sugar, taking insulin shots, and staying strong for her fans. Some days were harder than others, but even when her energy was low, her spirit stayed high. Pause. She once said, "Diabetes taught me discipline. It made me who I am." And that discipline became her superpower. Behind every performance, there was courage, the courage to keep moving forward. Music deepens, slow strings build emotion. As she grew older, diabetes began to affect her health. Her eyesight and nerves suffered. But instead of giving up, Mary chose to fight louder. She joined the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and became one of its strongest voices. She spoke openly about her struggles and worked tirelessly to raise money for a cure. Inspiring music swells. Through her advocacy, she gave hope to millions who felt alone. Her voice made a difference. Gentle orchestral background, montage of Mary with fans, at charity events, and smiling in interviews. Mary Tyler Moore wasn't just a star. She was a symbol of strength. She proved that even with diabetes, you can still dream, inspire, and shine bright. Pause. Her story continues to touch hearts around the world, reminding everyone that a diagnosis doesn't define your destiny. Inspiring music builds to a heartfelt climax. Mary's journey teaches us something powerful, that courage is not the absence of struggle, but the will to rise above it. So to everyone living with diabetes, don't lose hope. Keep fighting. Keep smiling. Keep believing. Because just like Mary Tyler Moore showed us, blue heart diabetes doesn't control your life. You do. Music fades out, screen fades to black. Sparkles dedicated to all the heroes living with diabetes. Glowing star, your story matters. Keep shining. Mary Tyler Moore, the actress who shined through her battle with type 1 diabetes. Would you like me to now create for this Mary Tyler Moore story to help it perform well on YouTube? Soft piano music plays. Old TV clips of Mary Tyler Moore smiling. Logan.